Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Telecast-tv. I'm Kongala. President Tinubu removes Kayode Egbetokun, appoints Tunji Disu as new Inspector General of Police. Now, Kayode Egbetokun has been replaced as Nigerian's Inspector General of Police with Assistant Inspector General Tunji Disu taking over the top position. A presidency source confirmed the development, stating that an official announcement will be made shortly. AIG Tunji Disu is the new IGP confirmed. The source added that the information had received double confirmation. Sources also say that the former police boss was directed to proceed with handover after a meeting at the presidential villa. He is now expected to step aside, bringing an end to a tenure that drew strong criticism from civil society group and section of the public, and especially from Showore, dragging him to court because his age for service has passed. Now, share your thoughts, share your opinion about this. Endeavor to subscribe. Watch this video to the end.
Regarding what's going on presently in the Nigerian police leadership,
yes,
you see that you mentioned it yourself that AIG Disu may be coming up. That shows that other DIGs may likely.
Yeah, I've been told by head that about 29 senior police officers will be relieved of their position from today as soon as Disu is sworn in, because they are, of course, his seniors. They can't operate under his command. But to be very clear, I am not here to praise Disu. Of course, I'm happy that they finally agree with me that this man was illegally appointed, because they had told the country that he would spend 4 years. I was the only person saying he's not spending 4 years. He took my passport. I start in this country since last January, when he got a judge to take my passport, Justice Lehman, that the passport don't matter to me until we fix the police force. Because the problem with police force is the reason why Nigeria is in this quandary of terrorism, banditry, and whatever you want to call it. If the police was properly managed and led, our police can take care of problems of terrorism. But if you go to the airport, the Nigerian Air Force has taken over traffic duties from the police. So the police is failing because you have a guy who has retired and is tired, and you keep him as a police IG. But that tells you what is happening with even the person who claims he's president of Nigeria. He doesn't know his left from his right. He's just rewarding loyalty, even if it's against the interests of the Nigerian country and its people. But the same thing applies to the guys in custom, it applies to immigration, it applies to the civil. All of them have their tenure extended. And these are guys who are tired. There's a reason why they said if you are 60 years old and you have started 35 years old, you should let go, because that is biologically when people can no longer function as they should.
Are you also moving for the exit of the immigration you just mentioned?
I have been on it. I'm going to fight to ensure that the immigration guys are removed as well. Customs, anybody that has retired and is tired should leave. There's no question about it, and it applies to the president too. I think he's tired.
Okay, the president is also...
Yeah, I think he's tired.
That he has been sacked regarding to some of the cases that he filed against him.
He has 5 cases against me, but I don't care whether I told everybody, including the judges, that they were wasting their time, including that one in Kuje. All the cases from today, I'm just coming from court. I have another case tomorrow. I have 2 cases on Thursday. I have another case on Friday in Kuje. All of them were filed by Egbetokun to silence me because I called him illegal IG. And he went last week, as you are aware, to go and get a judgment, one Jankara judgment from federal, I think it's the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, to ask me not to say that he's illegal IG. And that we shouldn't say that his son took 100 million naira from the police had been destroyed. And yes.
There are insinuations in some quarters that US mounted pressure on President Bola Tinubu to remove Egbetokun, considering the fact that he changed the external security architecture, but he has not changed the internal one. What is your position on that?
I don't know why you guys just overrate the US. The US doesn't care about you. I keep telling you, the US don't care about you. It's not going to. So if they remove Egbetokun, is the US going to bring in a police from the US to replace him? Of course not. We removed Egbetokun because we have said from the day he was appointed, and I must tell you this today, I've said it before, I started having problems with Egbetokun when he arrested people who engage in end bad governance and charged 10-year-olds for treason in this country. That's the day I swore to that I must fight this guy to finish. And when his tenure was extended, before his tenure was extended, I've been warning Tinubu not to extend his tenure. This guy is the worst police commissioner, IG, in recent times.
I'm calling for the repealing of that law that was signed. And then IG coming was spent 4 years.
We have to repeal it. We have to allow anybody who has retired to retire and allow new bloods to take over. There are 350,000 policemen in Nigeria. You cannot keep saying that the guy who is tired is the best. It's not proper.
People are of the opinion that Tinubu is continuing with the trajectory set by the Buhari in appointing new IG from the same ethnic group. Now, people are of the opinion that DIG Frank Iba will have come in as IG. So what's your say?
I'm not in charge of appointing IGs, right? And let me make it clear today that I'm also of the opinion that there should have been diversity in the police force. It cannot be that it's only Yorubas that are the best police officers, that you have to replace an outgoing Yoruba with, any coming Yoruba. Especially, even Tunji himself, Disu, is retiring in April. So I want to take it that his position is temporary, and they will appoint a substantive IG properly appointed when his tenure expires, But the difference between him and this guy is that his appointment was done while he's still serving. The other guy was appointed as acting IG after retirement.
Yeah. So you mentioned certain things inside regarding Ubers and everything. Like you said, many people were scared that their visa may be withdrawn. What would you advise for those who are scared of Trump's nemesis in case they speak against him?
Well, people in America are speaking against Trump. The Supreme Court of the U.S. is taking position against Trump. There are congressmen, women, senators, even in his party, that are speaking against Trump. So there's nobody who should be afraid. Evil only thrives when good people keep silent in the face of evil. And I have no doubt, and I happen to be one of the few people first to speak against Trump bombing of Nigeria. When some Nigerians, I won't say all Nigerians, some Nigerians were celebrating Trump bombing their country on December 25th, which is outright denigration of the country called Nigeria and its people. You don't have a right to bomb another country without provocation. We are not at war with you. And you chose of all days, Christmas Day, just because you want to corral Africans who are involved in your religion, the religion that you said is pure, to support you. But imagine if you wake up, if Americans wake up one day and hear that Nigerians threw a bomb into the U.S. because they heard some racist people are living in a corner in the U.S. How would they feel? So that's a violation of international law, of course. We all know that. But we know that international law doesn't apply to America. America is the law when it comes to international affairs. So I condemn that. But I realize that a lot of people were afraid to say this, even though some of them reached out to me privately that I thought that was courageous. Because they're afraid, even the ones that are most afraid are the ones who have not even applied for the visa already. That if they say something because they heard America is going to be collecting social media information, if you say something against Trump, you are not going to get a visa. What do you need a visa for if you are going to go to the country that hates your skin color anyways? So that's what I was saying to them. And it's sad that the same Nigerians that used to fight against apartheid are afraid to speak up and stand up to these fascists known as Donald Trump in America. And I'm glad that more Americans are standing up to him. I'm even surprised that it took them this long. That's how, when citizens let down their guards, they get the worst leaders. Yes.
All right, welcome. Some breaking news on the political scene. The IGP has been removed from office. Report reaching us from Sahara reporters said he has been replaced with Tunji Disu, if I get the name right. The IGP finally. Shore should be the one so happy, because right now, before he called him the illegal IGP.
In fact, Shore should be rejoicing by now.
Now, by government standard, what's supposed to be 60 years of retirement or 35 years in service. But all that was ignored by the president. Egbetokun was one of his allies when he was Lagos State governor. Now, they feel it's time to let him go. Disu in office now.
Well, we wish Disu the best of luck, and I want to congratulate Comrade Omoyele Showore, because he was always the one calling out, Egbetokun as illegal IG, to the point that they even declared him wanted, and he won. And I hope Disu should go and give Showore his 30 million naira, so that I can collect my own 10%.
No, it's the Nigerian police, not.
You see, this whole country, everything here is personalized. They say soldier go, soldier come, barrack remain. So Egbetokun is gone, Disu is in, the Nigerian police still remains. So to us, I personally feel relieved that at least he's gone. Even though I don't congratulate the president for anything, because he ought to have done this a long time ago. Such impunity shouldn't be allowed, to remain. When you have exhausted your time in office, you should leave immediately. But now that Egbetokun is gone, well, like I always say, good riddance to bad rubbish.
Philip, Egbetokun gone. We saw how he stepped out of the retirement age and years in service, but the presidency kept him. And what we have known of this president, that he normally gives elongation to people in office, especially those in the security apparatus. The Nigerian Civil Defense and Security also, the CG also is supposed to have been leaving office about this time.
I hear the same thing is also about the immigration. I don't know whether the CG of immigration is also...
He has given a 1 year extension.
1 year extension. So why all this extension?
Now he's gone. Egbetokun gone.
Yes, you see, do we say now that Mr. President is having a listening ear, or Mr. President had a rethink
of born again
of what been said by the people? You see, it is interesting the days ahead, because we should not just celebrate now that Egbetokun is gone. If you know the havoc, the damage his continued stay in office had done to Nigerians, you will weep. Why do I say Nigerians? Because people who join the police force take it as a career, and they were supposed to grow through the rank. When a man sits tight in office, it affects others who are supposed to grow. But in this case, it do not only affect them negatively, it affects them adversely, because some persons do not proceed. They were retired, or based on the fact that they had nowhere to proceed to. And this is very sad. The kudos to Showore, who has taken it upon himself and fought. We could say that Showore had fought a good fight, and we have seen the result. Just last week here, on this fight, Showore was able to defeat the police, and the court was magnanimous and very objective, awarded him the sum of 30 million naira in damages for illegally declaring him wanted when he was everywhere. Now, what has happened? Even at the force headquarters as we speak, the police are celebrating, And that led credence to what I've said, that most of them were not as sure of their career. But now there's hope, because the man that is taking over, he was a he was the commissioner in charge of the FCT command. It will just be promoted to the AIG, which also means that all the DIGs are gone. So while some people are celebrating, some people will be weeping. So a lot has happened. But this is why we are calling on the government to do the rightful thing. This is a country that is governed by law. Obey the rule of law should take preeminence. When a man assumed office, when they took the job as a police officer or as a civil servant, they knew that they either have 35 years or when you attain the age of 55 years or thereabout. So, but in this case, Mr. President can work with anybody, because the office is not meant for one person. It shouldn't be personalized. And the same thing we are clamoring for, Mr. President has even repeated it. Who is Disu? This is from the same Yoruba enclave. So it was orchestrated until Mr. President find a fit person from his enclave. He do not allow Disu. One could say that yes, Disu was allowed to go because they now find a replacement for the Yoruba enclave. Don't forget, when this matter came up, Mr. President and Egbetokun went to court to say that the office of the IGP is not by politics, it's by appointment, and it's a tenure thing, that even though you retire, you can spend 4 years. What has happened to that statement? You see, Nigerian, the president should, they should wake up and go back to the law. They shouldn't rule us by their whim and caprice of their heart. They should rule us by the law.
I wish I could just come in here. You know, there is this aspect of it that I'm not comfortable with at all. When we come to this tribal sentiment, that when you have a Yoruba president, then all the service chiefs, the commissioner, you know, the ministers, you know, and very strategic positions should be Yorubas. When are we going to get rid of this type of mentality? What brings us together? What defines us as a people, as a nation? You know, so we are looking forward to a time when, you know, as we've had it in the past, where you can be a Yoruba president and the IG can come from Zamfara. You know, the others can come from other places. Do they necessarily have to be Yorubas? Even Hausas or Igbos. Igbos. What happened to the Urobos? What happened to Isoko? What happened to Ijo? How about Ibibio? How about Ikwere people?
No, so we didn't see that during Goodluck Jonathan's era. Everybody was everywhere. Even Obasanjo's era.
Yeah.
Everybody was everywhere. Do you understand?
Yeah, I think this
How
thing
did we get here?
You see, we get here when we came under the APC-led government. Take your mind back to Buhari. It's not a question of not liking APC. Buhari started it and everybody were complaining.
Yeah. So why don't we personalize it and call it a Buhari
said,
problem?
I will continue from where Mr. President stopped. We thought he was saying something different, but he continue in a deeper level. Even the so-called Fulani, they are not complaining that the government has not been Yorubalized, but they started it. We thought Tinubu is a Democrat, is a more civilized person who will step away from nepotism and tribalism, but he had gone deeper than what Buhari gave to us. This is very strange, because we in the time of Yar'Adua or Obasanjo and Goodluck, you see all inclusivity. The best man for the job is always looked out for. Look at the ministers under Jonathan. Look at the minister under Obasanjo. Look at the ministers under the Yar'Adua. They are all from every nook and corner of this country, and they are from all religions. It doesn't mean they have to be Muslim or Christian or Yoruba from the south, whatever it is. Provided they are Nigerians who are qualified, who have the capability and the potential to do the job, they were given the job. We must move away. Mr. President, we are calling upon you that, look, you still have time, ample of time to right the wrongs. Please look at Nigeria as your country and see everybody as part of your government and appoint the right person. The person you are looking for in Yoruba is in a Calabar, is in Edo State.
If it's not qualified as the person you are looking for in Yoruba. Now, Piper, Dr. Piper, you're not here when we talked about Wike and Falana, Wike calling for what's it called?
holiday and
restriction of movement and holiday.
Yeah.
And Femi Falana said the only person that can do that is the president through the Ministry of or Minister of Interior. That is not in the prerogative of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to call for a holiday and all that. This impunity about the Constitution. What do you think people should do?
PK, you should by now you should know my response. We are in a civilian dictatorship. So stop asking for what you cannot have. You are asking for what you will benefit if you were in a democracy. But I have said it repeatedly, time and time, over and over again, that Nigeria is not running a democracy. Nigeria is a dictatorship. It is a civilian dictatorship. So to a civilian dictator, your constitution does not matter. They don't care who you are. The only difference between a civilian dictatorship and a military dictatorship is that for this military, they have uniforms. But for the civilians, there's no uniform. So in a civilian dictatorship, they do whatever they want. So you are getting what you get when you are in a civilian dictatorship. And as I always say, until the people rise up against this form of civilian dictatorship, it will continue.
Now, the illegality of the minister calling for restriction of movement, does it negate or does it throw a shadow on the elections?
Absolutely. It had an effect because a lot of people couldn't come out to vote. You know, these guys are very smart. They're very clever. They have looked at the demography. They know, okay, this is the way the FCT, is. Most of the voters, they will need to move from this point to cast their vote. So if you stop them from moving from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, they will not be able to move around. And then by 7, 8, if they want to move, there's a restriction of vehicular movement. So you need a permission to move at that time. So obviously it had an effect on the results of the election.
All right, we'll be monitoring the situation at the Louis Edet House and we'll bring you information as it gets to us.